Josh, great to talk with you.
All right, thank you. Thank you for having me on your show.
And first of all, congratulations are in order. You're a new dad and a big win.
I am. Thank you very much. It's all happening at the same time, it seems like.
And I said a big win because you took home the gold at the World Cup in Italy. A lot going on. How do you juggle it all?
Well, it's really hard. I mean, honestly, the biggest thing on my plate right now is, other than dealing with the family life and the newborn, is looking at the Olympic Games. So this was just another World Cup on the schedule this year that obviously a big match, but one of the stops that I wanted to perform my best at, and was happy that I could.
And really, Italy over the years has been very good to you, hasn't it?
It really has. This is my fourth trip to this spot here in Italy in Lonato, and my third gold medal coming out of this place. So I've always enjoyed the trip, and they've always treated me very well there, and I have shot very well there, which makes the trip even that much better.
No kidding. I mean, you shot a perfect 50-50 the third round on the last day. What a heck of a way to finish.
It was, and going into my third round, I was somewhat at the bottom of the pack as far as making it into the final. They take the top six, of course, and make it into the final. And I was hovering right around that cutoff line there with the 247s I shot. So it was one of those ones that I knew I either had to go run a 50 and have a chance at it, or I might have ended up coming up short of this match. So it was definitely a different mindset going into my last round, knowing that you have to break all 50. So it was very rewarding in the end, but it was a lot of work while I was going through it.
And really, you mentioned a lot going on in your mind, because it really is as much a mind game as it is who's going to show up that day.
It really is, especially at this level, at the world-class level in the World Cups and above. It really is, and that's really what the 247s that I shot previously. The only thing I could think of that was lacking was my confidence, my mental thought process, and I kind of had to put everything else aside and just focus on performance and seeing the targets come out and forget about all the technical stuff. My last round, that was kind of messing up with me a little bit there throughout my previous round. So that was the secret to success that day, and hopefully it'll work in the Olympics.
I got to ask you, because I love Italy. I've traveled there, and I love it. Do you ever get a chance to sightsee, or is it all about training and shooting?
No, that's actually that's a good question. We do stay pretty busy, and a lot of us do shoot a lot, and but we do make time to get away from the range. And this is my fourth time being to the same spot, so I've been somewhat of a regular here, and I do know all the little local hole in the walls now, and I do enjoy the cuisine and the people, and we're right on the lake, so it's a very beautiful atmosphere, and it makes the trip so much better. But yeah, I agree that the food, the people, it's a great place to go visit and shoot.
It really, really is. And I've heard you talk about your coaches. You call them the Grand Slam of coaches.
Yeah, I have a great team that works behind me and with me, starting with Les Greavy to Dan Vitchoff to Dan Carlisle, Dean Clark. I mean, I have a huge support staff, and then everyone involved with the Army push, and some physios. I work with Nick Potter and Kathy Arnott and Buddy Duval. So I mean, Bob Duval. So it's actually looking at whatever area of help that I need, I have a person for that. So it's very rewarding, and I'm thankful to have those guys and girls behind me.
Yeah, and we also can't thank you enough for your service. I mean, as you said, you're with the Army Marksmanship Unit, and I talked about a busy schedule. You were nonstop since the fall. I mean, you were in Afghanistan, weren't you, recently?
I was, yeah. I was currently after the last year's season, I went to the Afghanistan deployment for our unit, and I learned a lot there. It was a very rewarding trip, stayed safe, and got a lot done, and it's just one of those things that I had to do, I felt obligated to do, and it definitely helped me develop myself as a person as well as boost my military career and make me a stronger shooter in a roundabout way. But it was I have nothing but good things to say about it.
Yeah, what were you doing over there?
I went over with a cross-functional team from our unit that we actually support marksmanship training for Afghan and coalition forces. So I was a main instructor for mostly Afghan, but we did some coalition training as far as basic rifle marksmanship and pistol training.
Wow, you are doing everything. My gosh, what a schedule, as I said. But, they also had the London Repair World Cups, and you were telling me that you couldn't make it for good reason. You were having a little baby boy. But,
yes,
I mean, how did you feel about that, missing something as important as that?
It was hard to swallow at first. My wife and I sat down and we discussed it, and she really wanted me to go to it. I mean, the Olympics are once every 4 years. I was just very lucky to make the team alone, and to say I'm not going to go to the one and only match on the same range was kind of, everyone was asking that question, why? I did have a great reason, though. Of course, having a second child on the way, there was no way we were going to get around this. I mean, we couldn't have them early. All the dates were showing right over top of this World Cup, so we decided about 2 months early that there just wasn't a chance of us to do it. Let's just rule it out now. And I've created another training plan with that in mind. So Did I miss out a little bit? Yeah, I definitely missed a little as far as shooting on the range, but I don't think it's going to slow or affect my performance in London.
What are you hearing about the range over there?
Well, when they shot the World Cup, I had some teammates there, and as well as some other fellow teammates from other countries. They spoke about how bad the weather was.
Yeah, I heard.
I don't think we're not going to be dealing with that same thing coming August. But I've heard nothing but good things about the range. They built it perfectly. There's a great background. The accommodations are going to be great. So everything's just going to be focused on my performance there, and I'm not worried about the equipment or the range at all. So everything's lining up perfectly.
Well, and it is, and you're doing great, and I mean, it's really neat to see and watch. But Josh, when you shoot over there in England, do you actually change your plan, your sleeping plan before you go over there, just because the hours time difference?
Some people toyed with different strategies with that, but I found there's really no way around it. I get picked on and harped on a lot because I sleep probably more than anyone on the team, which is true. But it's one of the things that when I'm tired, I sleep, and when I'm hungry, I eat. So, when I go over to something like that, generally the shorter trips are the roughest. In Italy here, I don't think I really got on their time zone at all. I had a very rough time sleeping this previous trip. However, going into London, the team has prepared us to go to Denmark first for a big train-up, so there won't be any jet lag issues come the Olympic Games.